So I am back with another replay analysis. I know you guys have been really enjoying this series lately, so I wanted to bring out another one. And this replay is coming from one of our recent subs. So I try not to be too brutal, but you know I can't promise anything. I just try and give my honest thoughts and advice and tips on how you can get better at the game. Now I want to get straight into this analysis, but first off I will say that I am on Twitter, so if you're not following me on Twitter already, then head over to there and give me a follow. That's where you'll find all the giveaways, news and updates. I always post them there first. As always, you can find the link to that in the description. So without delaying anymore, let's get straight into it. This is the lobby for this replay, and to save any confusion, I'm going to put the ranks up now. And the player that we will be reviewing is this guy. As I mentioned before, they are a recent sub, so shout out to them. And one thing I will say is just keep in mind, everybody sucks in some form at this game. You know, we all have bad points to our game and we all have parts that we need to fix, even at pro level. Okay, so you cheat up on kickoff. One thing I will quickly mention about kickoffs is you have to remember that a kickoff is just a 50-50. So imagine if you're just in mid-game and you see your teammate going for a 50-50, where would you position yourself if that was happening? And that's how you want to think about kickoffs if you're cheating up. There I wouldn't have dived because it's obvious that you're getting beat to this ball, so you don't really want to dive in. Like here you can see you're clearly getting beat, so you just want to rotate back then to goal, or if you think he's going to dribble it, then you just want to try and block him. But you definitely don't want to dive for this, because now all this does is it puts you in their half near their goal, completely out of the play, and obviously your other teammate took kick off, so he's not going to have any boost, and then it leaves your third man back on his own in a 3v1. Never commit to balls that you're never going to get. Now here, I don't like the way you cut down the middle of the goal. So as you come back here, what you want to be doing now is you want to rotate to the left post, which is the back post, because the ball's on the right side. So you want to just rotate round to the back post, because what that does is when you rotate round here, you can see it keeps your momentum. It helps, you can drive this way and you can keep going, and it puts you here, which is a perfect position to get a save or to intercept the ball. But by rotating down the middle, you then put yourself in a weird position because you have to turn like this. You have to do like a sharp turn, which really makes your life a lot more awkward. So that's why you always want to be rotating to the back post here, because it helps keep momentum. So okay, so you rotate down the middle, and as you can see here, you see all these little turns you're doing to try and get in a good position. It just cuts all that out. It cuts all that trying to position yourself and making it awkward. I wouldn't go for this ball because if you look, both your teammates are forward, you're back in goal, you've not got much boost. So if you try and go for this, you're going to leave the goal open, plus you're going to put yourself in a bad position. There's not really much you can do with this ball if you can get to it. Even if you hit this ball, you're probably just going to end up passing it out to them. I mean, obviously that's bad, but the thing that makes it worse is that there's going to be nobody in goal. So I would just wait in goal. There's just no point leaving goal at this point. Now look where you are. You're just in a really awkward position, and you've just made life so hard for yourself. And then you have to end up going all the way back to goal where you should have been in the first place. I wouldn't chase this ball out. Again, you're putting yourself in a bad position. Because you put yourself in a bad position here, you've now made it hard for yourself to get back in a good position. But because you've now rotated down the middle of the goal again, remember what I said, always think back post, because this ball's on the left side of the goal, so you've got to rotate to the right side of the goal. And I would rotate behind Skeeter. So as you're going back to goal, you should be to the right post, and then you see Skeeter there, you should be behind him now, waiting at the back post. You could even go up onto the backboard if you feel like you can actually get to the ball, but because Skeeter's going for it, you should be down on the ground. So you should be down on the ground, back post now. And then you're waiting there, you're still waiting there, you're still waiting there, you don't go forward, you just let Skeeter do his thing with the ball, and you're waiting back at goal. All you're doing now is you're just getting in the way, like you're just getting in Skeeter's way, because Skeeter's now trying to make a play here. He's just beat that one guy on the wall, and now he's going for the ball again, but because you're there, you're now in his thought process, and he's thinking, okay, right, I have to beat Wild and Young, but I've also got my teammate there. Is he going to cut in front of me? Is he going to try and hit the ball? And you're just making it more confusing for him. Now you're just in a really awkward position. You're just putting yourself in such bad positions. Like again, here you just want to get out, just go back to goal, because you know you've got another teammate there waiting. He should have boost because he's not, he's not been involved in the play for a while. Yes, I mean he's going to have like 50-60 boost once he picks up these couple of pads. And look, he's actually coming towards the ball, but watch what happens. Watch, because you cut in, look. You see, you've just took his position, so you should have just rotated back to goal again, but now you've cut him off. He's like, oh, now what do I do? Oh, he's going for it. I thought I was going to go for it. Okay, I'll go up on the wall. Now you've made his life hard, so now he's having to readjust. You've cut Skeeter off and you made his life harder. You cut him off now and you've made his life harder. You're just making it really awkward for your teammates by the way you're positioning. Okay, this is good. You're just waiting. Now, Skeeter's going for it, so there's no need to be supersonic here. I mean, what you're rushing for, what you're trying to get to, you're not trying to get to the ball now. You just wait. That's it. Just wait here. Just be patient. Let them work out what they're doing. See where the ball ends up. Okay, that's good shadow defense. And your teammate, yep, he cut forward. That's right. Again, you've pushed up too far here, because all it takes now, just say he wins this ball, goes up the side wall, and he aerials out. You're now going to be racing back to goal with the ball above your head, which is never a good thing. You never want that, because it's really hard to defend. And that's only because you pushed up past the halfway line. So now see, you don't want to go for this. Now just catch it. You want to catch this and you want to take it to the wall. I know you didn't want that second touch, but what made this awkward is because you don't take it to the left. You take it kind of straight down the middle. Now you're the last man back, and I don't like to talk too much as in everybody's got a position, because obviously that position can break at any time in a game. It's just whoever's in the best position to go for the ball should go for the ball. But when you're last man, it's really important that you create time for your teammates to get back to goal. So your mission shouldn't be to try and create plays and score goals from that position. It should be just to create time for everybody to get back into position, ready for the next attack. And how you create the most time here is you just take it to the wall, because then you can take it to the wall, and if someone challenges you, it's easy for you to flick the ball off the wall past them. Now, if you watched my Playing in Champ 3 video that I had out recently, you'll see I did it many times. Many times I go up the wall and the only thing I'm trying to do is bait my opponent in and then flick it over their head, and then I beat that man. But if you look, this is the alternative version of what you're doing here, is you're trying to go down the middle. And as you can see, it's very hard for you to now get it past players. So this guy just goes, you get it past him. And now how are you going to get it past Golden God? Like, it's going to be very hard for you to beat him. The only way you can really, because you can't get really around the left of this ball and take it to the right, because that will put the ball in a dangerous position and make it hard. The only thing you can do here is then take it up the wall. But you just end up effectively passing to him. You make your rotation awkward here again. You end up doing the right thing, but so you're going down the middle. See, you're going front post. You don't want to do that, because the only thing you're doing here is you're making it that tiny little bit more awkward for your teammate. And you want to make your teammates' lives easier, not harder, even if it's only a fraction. You always want to make it very clear to your teammates what you're doing, because you're solo queuing here. So you're not teamed with these guys, so obviously you have no communication, so therefore you have to communicate with how you play. So by rotating out wide to the back post, you've made it clear to your teammate, I'm not going for this ball, it's your ball, I'm just rotating around you. You end up going kind of back post, and then you cut down the middle. Now you don't want to be going for this, like again you've pushed up too far. Let me take this back and I'll show you how you should have rotated. Right, how you should have rotated here is, you see the balls here, right? You should have come back and you should have went round this way. Yes, you've made it obvious that by going this way, you're making it obvious. You could either take this pad here or you could go for these pads here, but you want to be over this side of the play here. Yeah, so you're making it obvious to your teammate that you're going back post, and then when you go back post, Skeeter takes it forward. So I'd follow the same path as he takes. So as he goes forward, I would then rotate round this way, because then this guy here is then, I mean, I don't know what he's doing, but once he comes back down to the ground, he will then come back to this way. Yes, you're kind of all rotating almost round in a circle. So then as he goes forward, you then go forward with him, and you should be kind of around here. And then as the ball goes to the corner, I would now be waiting around here. You see, this is the halfway line here, yeah? You always want to make sure you're in your half on this side of the, you don't want to be this side of the halfway line, you want to be this side of the halfway line. And You think like, well, that's just what's the difference between here and here? It may seem small, but it makes so much difference in positioning. So if you was to jump from the halfway line here in aerial, yeah, you would probably get to the ball almost the same time as if you was to jump forward from here and get to the ball. But if you have to turn around, just say someone booms a ball from here, right? Now, if you have to turn around and get back to goal, it's a lot easier to turn around here and get back to goal than it is to turn around here and get back to goal. So you see what I mean? So it doesn't really affect going forward because it's almost the same going for an attacking play in these two positions. But going back to goal, it just makes it easier going from here than it does here. And that's why you should be around here in that part of the play. You go down the middle here and then you push up just too far here, because there's not really much you can do here. And what's going to happen is, I can already tell you what's going to happen in this play. Your teammates missed a pass, and Golden God is going to hit it to the left. It's, some point to the left. It's going to either go into their corner or it's going to hit the sidewall just to the left there. And if you was in the position I said, it would be a lot easier for you to read a ball here. See, because you push up, now it's really awkward for you to get this ball. And you miss it, and you take yourself out of play. Your teammate makes a mistake. You know what I said earlier about committing as last man? Your only job as last man is a great time for your teammates to get back. Your teammate didn't do that. He's committing to the ball, he's trying to make a play, and now look, now nobody's in goal. So now you're rushing back with zero boost. You've all got to try and get back to goal, all because your teammate overcommitted. But the reason your teammate overcommitted was because you was in the wrong position and you pushed too far forward. So you pushed too far forward, it made your teammate push too far forward. Because if you'd been sitting the right side of the halfway line to the side, even if your teammate had pushed forward, you would have noticed and you'd thought, all right, my teammate's going forward, I have to guard the goal. And I know that's not right. You're thinking, well, no, I want to attack as well. I shouldn't have to be sitting back all the time. You're right, you shouldn't have to be sitting back all the time. But if you want to rank up and you want to get out of these kind of games where, nobody knows how to defend, you have to almost over defend for your teammates, because you have to cover for their mistakes. And if you're pushing too far forward all the time, you're just becoming the same as them, and you're just going to be staying in the same games that they're playing in because you're making the same mistakes. So again, if you go back to the games where I was playing in Champ 3, I sit back a lot more. I try not to go for real flashy plays off the wall and stuff, because I know it's going to take my boost, it's going to put me out of position, and can I trust my teammates to defend? And that's why if I play in lower ranks, I will always over defend, because I know that it's going to benefit me more than over attacking. Skeeter does well though. He comes back and gets a good clear. You're now sitting back post. There's no reason for you to, you see, you do that little drive forward, now you see this ball going to the back ball. Now there, so you reverse a bit. Okay, now you're in a good position because you can dive up, you can jump up and save it in the corner above you, and you can get it in the corner in front of you. But you kind of drive forward there. I know it's only a small thing, but I don't see the reason to do it, because Skeeter's obviously on the wall. He's got this ball. Your other teammate, he's doing the same thing you were doing. I was saying earlier about when you're driving front post, he should be rotating behind you. Yeah, he shouldn't be sitting there. And even if he is rotating behind you, he can always be ready for a counter attack if Skeeter does clear it off the wall. It's going to make his attack no different. He's not going to be able to attack better from that position than what he would if he was slightly to the right. So he's doing the same mistake you did. He should go behind. But I don't understand why you push up this little bit. If your teammate was behind you, I could understand why you do this. But when you see your teammate there, that's when you want to be even more further to the back post. You've got to realise what your teammates' capabilities are. Every time Skeeter's in a 1v1, he seems to win it. He seems to be solid at clearing, so you can trust him in defence. So now, when I see Skeeter here on the wall, I'm thinking, right, how can I support him now? Now he's going to get a clear and he's going to try and take it round Wild and Young. Where can I be that's going to help him? Yeah, you got that other guy coming back to goal to defend. So now I would, like I said, he's in a weird position, but I would push out in front of him to let him know, you're back in goal, I'm going forward. You sit behind him. Now he's going to think, okay, now I'm going forward, you're sitting in goal because you're behind me. So you're not making it obvious on what your intentions are. So I would have drove out, probably just to the right of him here, and I'd be sitting just in front of him, waiting for Skeeter to get the clear. And then once Skeeter gets the clear there, I would push forward. So I would have drove to here, and then as he gets this clear, I would now drive out to here. Because then you've just given Skeeter the signal that, okay, you've made a good clear, I'm going to chase it up and see if I can continue the play. Yeah, but because you're both sitting back here kind of deciding who's going to sit in goal, Skeeter's now cleared it and he's thinking, oh, okay, where's my team? Like, okay, well, I've got to chase this on. He's got 10 boost. So he's thinking, I've got to do all this, you know, with 10 boost. Like, thanks, guys. So now what happens is you and your teammate can't decide who's going to sit and go and who's going to go forward. So he ends up chasing it down the field with no boost. And then you come out and you do that. And then your teammate's right behind you again. You have to notice in your games how everyone's playing. Yeah, and you and your teammate have done the exact same thing as before. You missed the aerial and your teammate was right behind you and took a 50-50. That's exactly the same thing that happened before. And now Skeeter's rushing back to goal. You know, he's just tried to make a play. Now he's rushing back to goal to get boost and he's thinking, right, okay, I've got to defend again. So you and the other guy aren't being much help to him. You know, you're not really helping him and being in the best position for him to actually help him actually create something and win the game. You're kind of just doing the same things over and over and just almost making his life harder. And you have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of how each teammate plays that you get and how you have to adjust your game to complement their game. You know, adaptability is super important in Rocket League, and the more adaptable you can be, the better player and the better teammate you will be. This is just recoveries and rotation. Now, your recovery, you know, it's not bad there. But there, I'm not sure if you was trying to do it or not, but after you come down off the wall here and you turn around, now you want to half flip. So you want to practice half flipping and you want to, you know, get good at being able to do a half flip. So you want to half flip here, you know, and you want to take their boost if it's there. If it's not, you should have half flipped and now you'll be going forward. You see you drive up on the wall here, you want to drive a little bit more left up the wall and then you want to wave dash off the wall. And then you wave dash off the wall through this boost and then you rotate again. You're going the middle, you want to go to the back post, so you'd rotate to the back post here and then you're ready for this clear. But because you're coming down the middle of the goal, you're making it awkward for yourself again. Oh, I can't get the ball. But if you had gone to the back post here, look how easy it would have been. So you half flip here, you go up onto the wall, you wave dash here, you get this boost here, you go to the back post and you're out to this ball. Easy clear, easy clear. But because you go down the middle and your recovery and rotation is so slow, you just make it really hard for yourself. You have to get good at keeping that momentum. So as your kickoff, you go for the wave dash kickoff, that's fine. I mean, again, you're going middle of the goal. See how you're going down the middle here? You're doing it every time. You always want to rotate to that back post. It's such a simple thing, but it changes so much. I've said this in videos before. If you're coming back to goal and you see a teammate in the goal, so I'd be rotating, always rotating to this post here, you know, and I'd see, oh, I've got a teammate in goal. Okay, I'll go onto the backboard. So I drive up to the backboard because there's no point me just rotating here and sitting in this corner here with my teammate here, because what are we both going to do? You know, just sit here looking at each other? You've got to cover the goal and the backboard because, like I always say, if somebody hits a ball into the backboard, it's incredibly hard for you to save that ball from here. You know, because you've got to try and jump up and aerial and predict where the ball's going to go, and it's just really tough. So if you go up to the backboard here, you make your teammate in goal, you make his life a lot easier because then he thinks, okay, you've got the backboard covered, I've got the goal covered, and now if any ball comes up here, I'm ready for it. How you've rotated, I mean, this is the worst possible way because now you're rotating into him. You're like, it's like he's going back to goal and now you're just, look at you two are driving towards each other, and it's not his fault because, you know, nobody's in goal, so he's got to cover the goal. You're making your team's life a lot harder than what it should be. You know, you want to help your team, not work against your team. So you're now driving towards him. Oh, and you bump him. Like, that's no surprise, is it? Because of the route you was taking to goal. You know, you literally driving right at him. And now, like, you're messed up in the goal. Again, your teammate's thinking, what is going on? What is this guy doing? Yeah, that's what he must be thinking. Oh, Skeeter does well there. This is really good play. So he's coming back to goal again. This has happened so much this game. I almost feel sorry for him. Yeah, every time he's got teammates back in goal, you know, he's racing back to goal thinking, come on guys, like, you know, take the pressure off a little bit. But here, look, he sees his teammate go flying over his head. So he thinks, right, he's out the play. He's just watched you kind of, you know, jumping around and trying to recover in goal. And what he does here, look, a nice fake, control, taking the pressure off, just trying to get the ball out. Okay, so let's see what you do here. So again, really great play from Skeeter. He takes the ball out. No, you're going too far forward here. You say you're rushing forward. There's no reason to rush. Like, you don't have to be fast here. Like, you just see Skeeter make a play there, and he wasn't fast. He wasn't trying to be speedy. He was just trying to take pressure off. So now when he does that, you're now supporting him. So go and support him. Go forward a bit. Now you could have been slightly further forward. I mean, I don't know what the other guy on your team's doing. He's in the goal. I mean, that's just really bad play all round. Here Skeeter flicks it, and you can't really go for this. So now I would kind of slow down here. I'd slow down here and I'd be patient. I'd circle around to the right, you know, just to make sure I'm covering my goal, just in case Pepsi decides to turn on this ball, and then I just wait and see. So you shouldn't really be here. You should be further back. And then I'd circle round to the wall and I'd see what happens, and then I'd come for this ball after. But you know, you come forward and you get lucky really, because Wild and Young, you know, doesn't really have a good touch, and he kind of plays the ball straight to you. So now here, yeah, so you don't want to do that. Like I spoke about in my last replay video, these are the sort of opportunities you will get where you can actually create plays and make stuff happen. And that you've got a nice bouncing ball here, you know, create a training pack with this bouncing ball. Like, take this exact example and just create a training pack with a little ball that bounces like that, and then just practice all different ways of getting it in the goal, you know, all creative ways. Just see what you can come up with. You know, you can try and just tap it so it bounces up, and then you can go for an aerial play. You can take it to the side wall, you know, you can hit it onto the backboard and then try and go for a shot that way. There's a lot of things you can do, but I just think, you know, kind of a shot there, it's going to be very hard for you to get a good shot, and all it's doing is it's giving them the ball back. Now Skeeter's back in goal, and look, you're making his life harder because you're driving straight at him. So he's thinking, is he going to bump me? Like, what's going to happen here? Like, you just always want to be rotating round to the left there. You know, just rotate round to the left, be out of his way. Let him know, okay, I'm going back to goal. If the ball comes towards our goal, it's your ball. You know, I'm not going to go anywhere near it. I'm going to let you have it. By going wide left here, you're letting him know that, you know, you're staying out the way. But because you kind of cut across there, you just make it a little bit more awkward. Okay, so you pick up that boost and you get taken out by that guy. Skeeter's come over. Here you got the right idea. By you don't try and rush it too much, but you just want to hit this to the side. You don't want to hit this forward. Look how this guy's coming out to you to the left. This guy to the left is coming out to you a million miles an hour. He's just going to fly past you. So all you want to do here is you want to jump up and you want to get a little touch to the right, yeah, where Skeeter is. As he comes flying out, look, he's actually off the ground already, yeah? So if you get a little touch to the right here, you're going to take him out the game, and Wild and Young is still recovering, so he's going to be out the game. And then the only threat you have then is Golden God. But because you kind of get a hit forward there, you've made it awkward, because you baited your teammate in who was never going to score that, because you see Golden God going back to goal already. He's going to have a nice easy save here, and now you've not really done anything. You got to think more about your attacking plays, you know, about controlling the ball, like taking it to the wall. Like I say, always be taking the ball to the wall, because you can do so much more there. Never just think hit it down the middle, because it's very hard for you to create a play that way. Again, you're going too fast. There's no reason for you to be supersonic here. You know, you're making it harder for yourself, because the faster you go, the quicker you have to react to, you know, to certain situations. That's why you missed this ultimately, because you're going too fast. You know, you're playing too fast. If you just turned round, picked up small pads instead of going for that side boost, you would have seen the play. You would have seen Skeeter come forward. He would have put it into the corner. You could have then, you know, turned round by the halfway line, and you'd be sitting your goal side of the halfway line, like we spoke about earlier. You'd now be facing that way. You'd now see this ball pop out, and you'd think, right, okay, I can go forward. And then again, like maybe you wouldn't go forward because you'd see both teammates are there. You think, if I go forward and I miss this shot, then nobody's going to be back in goal. You give yourself a lot more time to evaluate the situation and decide what you want to do. But because you're kind of rushing in here, you're going supersonic, you know, you're just going crazy. You end up missing the shot. Who's back? So you can never be upset in your games when you concede goals, because, you know, I'm telling you why now, there's never anyone in goal. You could probably be 3 or 4-0 down in this game. It's only because Skeeter's quickly rushed back and got back to goal. He's been covering it every time. But I guarantee you, if Skeeter wasn't in this game and you had a third player that was playing like you and your teammate, you would be losing this 3 or 4-0, because nobody is interested in guarding the goal. Everyone's just more interested in just rushing forward and getting the ball. See here, you know, like I was saying earlier about going to the wall, like you see how he cuts that round to that side of the ball and he's trying to play it down the middle. He shouldn't do that, because if he goes to the wall here, he's going to easily beat you. But because he tries to play it down the middle, he loses the ball. And that's what I'm saying, you always want to try and play it to the wall. Okay, so you're getting a good interception. Right, you pick up pads, that's good, I like that. Me, myself, I don't think there's any reason to rush in for this. You just want to fake this, just fake. So pretend you're going to go for the ball, but don't actually go for it. Just circle round now. So you're driving forward and you just want to circle round and go back. Because all that's going to happen is he's going to jump out and hit the ball like this, and he's just going to go to you. Yes, so you fake challenge, you turn round, and now you're waiting for this hit. So he hits it out like this, you know, it's going to be very hard for him to recover, and you effectively just get a free ball just by pretending that you're going to challenge. But instead, because you've challenged, you've now put yourself out the play. You know, the ball's up in the air, you've not got much boost, you've got to rush back to goal, whereas you could have just had an easy free ball. You're cutting your teammate off here. Like, Skeeter's there, yeah, and look how you cut him off. You drive in front of him. Like, I know he's going to get boost, but he can easily get boost and be where you are in the time that you get there. You just end up cutting him off now. So now you've cut him off, and again you're in a bad position. And then you just have to circle back round. So yeah, you don't want to be cutting your teammates off like that, because look, in the end he ends up getting the ball anyway. So if you've just been in a position, you can read this play easier. You can see that Skeeter's going to cross it like this, and you can be in a position ready to score. By cutting him off, you just effectively ended up being where you should have been anyway. So you should have just let him go, and you should have rotated to the left. You know, this is something you just need to practice. You just need to get training packs with, you know, do some sort of training where you just get a ball off the top like that, because it's just the way you turn your car and trying to predict the bounce. You just make it awkward. But yeah, that should be an easy jump up, hit it into the goal. You know, that's not a really hard shot. And it's not the fact that you missed it that's the problem, it's the contact you get with the ball. Like, you don't even get close to scoring. So it's definitely something that you need to practice. And that's a nice little aerial from your teammate, and you get it back to 1-1. Okay, so you go for boost this time, which is fine, all good. This is the same scenario as last time. Both your teammates are forward, and you go forward towards the ball, which you don't want to do. Now, you want to be a little bit to the left here, and you don't want to drive forward. You kind of want to stay back post here. I would kind of wait further back. If somebody does get a shot behind you, it's going to be very hard for you to save. So you want to be further towards the back post, and you want to wait there. You don't want to come forward here. There's no point. As balls hit forward, you're never going to get this. Like, this isn't your ball to go for. Just say you was a little bit further forward, and you could get a block in here or something. What's going to happen? So you're going to get a block in, and there's going to be no one back in goal. So if the 50-50 doesn't go your way, your net's going to be open. That's the only thing you're going to achieve, is leaving your net open. And as I see the other teammate coming back, I would go forward. So then you can go forward for this ball. And here you just panic, you try and rush it. Again, there's no need to rush, because it's going to be very hard for Wild and Young to hit this ball. You could even demo him. Like, you could either just not go for this ball and just demo him. That if you just drive into him there, because you're going for the ball, you don't demo him. But if you was to deliberately go for the demo, he'd have no chance of saving this. That's a good save, because you hit it to the side. And then just terrible defending. You know, the goal should never be open there, but it is what it is. You're now 2-1 up, so and now you've got to hold the lead. Okay, you're rushing this, and I can understand why. You know, you think, oh, I could have an open goal here. Like, you've got to think of it as, even if Wild and Young isn't there to block you, then this is going to be an easy tap anyway. 69 boost, by the way. Giggity. But because you rush yourself, you make it harder for yourself to score an open goal if it was an open goal. So there's just no reason to rush. You're the wrong side of the ball as well, because if you're the right side of the ball, you just want to single jump 50-50 this. Once you see him, you know, come into play, you then know he's going to try and hit it. So you just single jump at the ball, and then, you know, you should be able to get a block. Like, see, that's why you want to single jump, because now you've dived, you've put yourself out of position, and you've made your recovery harder. So that's why you just want to single jump a 50-50, because it makes your recovery a lot easier. Okay, so this time you do pick up pads, which is good. Stop here, you just want to be back post. Now, you don't want to push forward, because you've got two teammates there. you're in the perfect position here, you don't want to push forward. But you do, you push forward that little bit too far. You know, that's why you always want to stop at that back post when you've got 2 teammates there. I really hope you don't do what I think you're going to do and just flip towards this ball and hit it forward, because you've got 2 options here. And that's by taking your time. And the more you take your time in games, the more you'll get used to it, and the more options you'll give yourself. You'll get comfortable with taking your time, and then when you get a ball like this, you'll be able to think, okay, what can I do with it? Because your mind isn't instantly thinking, right, hit it forward, hit it forward. You end up getting to the habit of thinking, okay, I've got time, what can I do? Now you can hit it out to Skeeter, you know, you can do a little pass play towards him, and he should have a decent shot. Or if Wild and Young comes towards you, you can just flick it over him, and then you've got an open goal. But I'd say your best option here, as it looks like Wild and Young is driving away, is just to knock it to Skeeter as a little pass. But yeah, so you just flick into it. And that's where you're not used to taking your time. You give it to him, and now you're in an awkward position. That's just practicing your mechanics. You're coming off the wall. Can't tell you how many hours I put into just, you know, practicing coming off the wall and hitting balls like this. You know, hundreds of hours, maybe over 1,000. When you drop here, I know you try and go for the block, I guess, which is fine. So now you come down off here. Again, just a quick little wave dash. Just wave dash, that helps get your pace up, and then you can just go for small pads. Okay, so yeah, so see, there's no reason to go there, because now you got in the way of the play. I mean, okay, you bash the other team, but look, you're rotating towards the play. So you bash him and your teammate hits you as well. Because you've now rotated this way round, it just happens to be that he's hit you. But if you was in the correct position in the first place, he wouldn't be hitting you here, and you wouldn't have slowed him down, because he probably could have got onto this ball. You know, but because he's hit you now, it's slowed his momentum, and it's now put you in no man's land. So yeah, that's why rotation's so important. Again, you've got time here, you've got time. Like, the reason you miss this is because you're rushing it. You know, you've got time with this ball. And as it comes here, I know the goal's open, I know it's open, but because you're rushing yourself and you're thinking all that, it's what's making you miss these shots, yeah? Because look, you've got, again, you can just tap it, just, you know, a really light tap down to your teammate, and he's got an open goal as well. But because you've tried to rush it and you've tried to boom it in, you've just passed it. There you go, mate. Have the ball. Knowing when you can take your time, not rushing. You know, try not to rush your play, not rotating down the middle or towards your teammates, always rotating behind. Again, see, you missed that ball because all you're doing is you're rushing here. So yeah, look, why don't you just stop and wait? I just want to give you as many examples as I can of what I mean by taking your time.